Happiness is the key in deciding the best countries, and happiness is always a choice that anyone can make. Regardless of where you are and what you are going through, you can still choose to be happy. You can still choose to smile. Here are the 10 best countries to live in the world in 2019. Switzerland. Switzerland is a small country in Central Europe made up of 16,000 square miles of glacier-carved Alps, lakes, and valleys. It's one of the world's wealthiest countries, and it has been well known for centuries for its neutrality. Switzerland has low unemployment, a skilled labor force, and one of the highest gross domestic products per capita in the world. The country's strong economy is powered by low corporate tax rates, a highly developed service sector led by financial services, and a high-tech manufacturing industry. The country prides itself on its diversity and is home to regions with distinct cultural identities. Switzerland is one of the most modern and stylish tourism-offering nations in the world. The scenery in Switzerland has a lot to offer for those moving there. It is famous for its dramatic mountains and calm lakes. The temperature does vary from different locations and tends to be warmer in the south and cooler in the north. Japan. Japan, one of the world's most literate and technically advanced nations. While most of Japan is covered by mountains and heavily wooded areas, the country's roughly 126 million people lead a distinctly urban lifestyle. Long culturally influenced by its neighbors, today the country blends its ancient traditions with aspects of Western life. Japan is known worldwide for its traditional arts, including tea ceremonies, calligraphy, and flower arranging. All residents of Japan are required by law to have health insurance coverage. In Japan, harmony is everything. Japanese people follow rules and try to avoid conflicts as much as possible. They are very harmonious and very disciplined. The crime rate in Japan is relatively low, and the policemen don't have guns. Canada. Canada takes up about 2/5 of the North American continent, making it the second largest country in the world after Russia. Canada is regarded one of the best countries to live in the world because of its exceptional factors like high rate of life satisfaction, low murder rates, unique old age pension programs, and mostly free healthcare system. It is also regarded as one of the most peaceful countries in the world. It values education and has long ensured all young citizens have access to the best schooling available no matter what their background. More than half of its residents graduate from college. Canada is the second largest country in the world and undoubtedly one of the most beautiful. From icebound Arctic tundra and snow-sprinkled peaks to sparkling lakes and vast woodlands, Canada can take your breath away at every turn. Germany. Germany, the most populous nation in the European Union, possesses one of the largest economies in the world and has seen its role in the international community grow steadily since reunification. In the world market, Germany has a workforce of high skills, less corruption, and high degree of innovation and large capital stock. Germany is one of the globe's leading importers and exporters. Services, which include industries such as telecommunications, healthcare, and tourism, contribute the greatest amount to the country's economy. Germany is also one of the world's most popular migration destinations, though its open-door policy has become a point of contention in the wake of crimes committed within the country's borders recently. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is a highly developed nation that exerts considerable international economic, political, scientific, and cultural influence. The capital city, London, is a major international financial center and one of the most visited cities in the world. The banking and tourism industries are parts of a larger service sector that powers much of the nation's economic growth. It is also a world leader when it comes to medicine and research, and boasts some of the best hospitals you can find. The United Kingdom is also home to some of the top universities in the world, including Oxford, Cambridge, and Imperial College London. The outdoorsmen and women will be right at home with all the beautiful country Great Britain has to offer. You'll be able to hike mountains, stroll through fabled countrysides, and enjoy a coastline that is beyond beautiful. Sweden. The Kingdom of Sweden, flanked by Norway to the west and the Baltic Sea to the east, is one of the largest countries in the European Union by landmass. Despite its militaristic roots, Sweden has remained neutral in times of war for centuries. Instead, commitment to human rights, public service, and sustainability have helped make it a respected leader in international affairs. Healthcare, as well as college education, are free. And its people boast one of the longest life expectancies in the world. If you are planning on having children here, parents here get 480 days of paid parental leave to share between them. Swedes are some of the world's most generous people, donating about 1% of gross national product to humanitarian aid programs each year. The society continues to diversify as a growing number of refugees, currently accounting for 10% of the population, are welcomed into Swedish borders. Australia, a country and a continent surrounded by the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Australia has one of the lowest air pollution levels in the world. It is considered a wealthy nation with a market-based economy that has a comparatively high gross domestic product and per capita income. The nation has a high rate of participation in sporting activities and boasts a comparatively high life expectancy for both females and males. The standard of education is excellent with great government and private schools and a wide range of tertiary institutions to choose from. Schooling is compulsory from the age of 5 to 16. The rate of unemployment is low in Australia, but there are shortages of many professional and trade occupations. Australia is also blessed with uncountable national parks, conservation parks, game reserves, recreation parks, wildlife protection areas, conservation reserves, and marine reserves. Norway. The Kingdom of Norway is the westernmost country in the Scandinavian peninsula, made up of mostly a mountainous terrain. Norway's coastline is made up of thousands of miles of fjords, bays, and island shores. Whether you are driving or taking a rail trip, the stunning scenery which stretches for miles and miles is breathtaking. Norway is a high-income nation with a vibrant private sector and a substantial safety net. Healthcare is more or less free for everybody. Schools in Norway offer a well-rounded education, and public education is not only inexpensive but also of exceptional quality. And as the kids get older, parents can take comfort that Norwegian college and university education is offered free of charge. United States. The United States of America is a North American nation that is the world's most dominant economic and military power. Likewise, its cultural imprint spans the world, led in large part by its popular culture expressed in music, movies, and television. The U.S. economy is the world's largest in terms of gross domestic product, and also the most technologically powerful. The U.S. is culturally and racially diverse, and was shaped by large waves of immigration from Europe and beyond. Whether you prefer a bustling metropolis or a quiet town, everybody will find their dream location in the USA. The country is also home to some of the top universities in the world, including Harvard University and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Despite being the foremost global power, the U.S. still faces domestic challenges, including racial tensions, income equality, and an increasingly polarized electorate. New Zealand. New Zealand is one of the world's best places to live in. Best place to raise your family. It has a very pleasant climate, cultural attractions, healthcare, a good educational system, and modern cities. New Zealand's stable, peaceful, and safer than just about anywhere else in the world. Low density and scattered population make for peaceful exploration of the nation's impressive mountains and pristine beaches of the Lord of the Rings trilogy movie fame. There are wonderful opportunities for young people to grow up with easy access to sports and outdoors, space and freedom, to ride horses, to run along open beaches, to swim in clean water, to walk through native forests, and to truly experience the beauty of the nature. Per capita, income remains high, and education expenditures as a percent of gross domestic product are some of the highest in the world.
Press the bell icon on YouTube app and never miss another update. Subscribe our channel now. Although there are numerous people who would love to explore and live in new places, many do not have the funds. However, there are countries that will actually pay you to move to their country. While there are prerequisites in some cases, most countries offer a great opportunity for a new lifestyle and culture. For instance, some countries will lower your bills and taxes for making the move. Other countries provide prompt financial incentives to finance your startup adventure. Here are just a few to give you an idea of the numerous opportunities. So let's get started. Number 1. Canada. If you are graduated from college and are intrigued by Saskatchewan, this offer could be ideal. The town is offering tuition reimbursements for amounts up to $20,000 Canadian dollars. This is the equivalent of $15,956 US dollars. To qualify, you must be a college graduate in 2010 or after. Compensation is presented in the form of non-refundable tax credit and is paid out in segments up to 10 years. Number 2. Chile. If you are looking to begin a startup business, then Chile may be ideal. They will pay you $50,000 to begin your startup there. On the other hand, your startup needs to have the potential of becoming a huge global success. During the first 6 months you have to reside in Chile. In addition to the funds, you will be granted a 1-year work visa and a list of business contacts. Other benefit is that everything is in English. Number 3. Ireland. This country wants to attract worldwide entrepreneurs. If you feel that your startup has a large growth probability, you can apply for funding with Enterprise Ireland. If and when accepted, you are rewarded with thousands of funds and the opportunity to live and work in Ireland. Keep in mind, Ireland is renowned for its deluxe standard of living and low tax rates for new businesses. Number 4. New Zealand. Although you do not get paid actual money, the town of Kaitangatu offers a new home with a 4-acre of land for $230,000 New Zealand dollars. This is equal to $165,000 US dollars. Generally these same house market for about $394,482 US dollars. This is due to a shortage of people in an area that has approximately 1,000 jobs in that region. Number 5. Thailand, Korea or Vietnam. These 3 countries offer very similar programs and ways of life, respectively. Each is always in search of people from the United States and Europe to teach English as well as other subjects. Although Korea pays the best, Thailand and Vietnam have a lower cost of living. As well, Thailand and Vietnam have been growing economically and increasingly competitive. Many of the programs also offer air flight costs to your destination and back when the teaching position is finished. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and don't forget to subscribe.
All right, if you give me the next 60 seconds, I'm going to explain to you exactly how the
Top 10 cities to live in the United States for 2018. Generally speaking, living in the United States of America is a dream come true for many. Not just the immigrants that have moved from all parts of the world, but the locals as well. However, like it is with all things, some parts of America are just better than others. While picking a city to spend the rest of your lives in can be quite difficult, your choices just got easier. We have listed out the top 10 cities to live in the United States. One. Austin, Texas. With its spectacular weather, inviting people, and Texan charm, Austin makes the cut for the best cities to live in America. More than 50 new residents arrive on a daily basis for a fresh start in the city. What you might not know is that Austin was known as the Silicon Hills due to a large number of venture capital investments that happened here during the 90s. Austin also has an exciting music scene with some of the country's best music festivals taking place in the state. Two. Ann Arbor, Michigan. Ann Arbor is an excellent city, especially if you are thinking of starting a family. It has some of the best schools in the system. With a population of just over 116,000 people, you enjoy a relaxed lifestyle while still enjoying all the benefits of a great society. Three. Rochester, Minnesota. Rochester has a population of just over 110,000 people, and the city ensures to take care of each of them wonderfully. The city is well planned and managed by the highly competent city officials. The school systems are some of the best in the country, and the high quality of life make it an excellent destination to put your root in and settle down. Four. Colorado Springs, Colorado. The high quality of life Colorado Springs has to offer can compete with the
Are vegans healthy? Are vegetarians healthy? French fries and beer are vegan.
best in the world. With Aspen and Vail ski resorts within driving distance, you get several excellent holiday destinations close by. In fact, Colorado Springs is quite a tourist destination for its own park system. 5. Naperville, Illinois. Naperville has an excellent housing and school system. While its nightlife leaves much to be desired, it ranks highly in the safety aspect. Naperville also has a highly diverse range of people living happily in close proximity. Six. Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines is now being recognized as one of the most hip cities in all of United States. It has taken to the millennial culture with aplomb, and several locally owned bars and restaurants are giving it a cool vibe. A city that people of all ages would love to call home. Seven. Olympia, Washington. Olympia has several natural as well as man-made structural wonders for its residents and tourists alike to enjoy. The capital of Washington State is also one of the safest cities in all of America. The housing is perhaps a tad bit too expensive, but the utilities are top-notch. Eight. Fayetteville, Arkansas. Amidst the Ozark Mountains lies the famous University of Arkansas, which calls Fayetteville home. Several multinational corporations such as Walmart and Tyson Foods have set up their headquarters in nearby towns, which really helped Fayetteville the status it has accrued today. While the University of Arkansas has always been renowned, several other top-notch public schools have been built since. Nine. Portland, Oregon. With a slogan like "Keep Portland Weird," there are some surprising sights to see in this beautiful city. It is more than just a collection of offbeat shops and events. There are plenty of jobs available, with most of them coming from the tech sector, and companies like Nike, Intel, and several others have their headquarters just outside city limits. 10. Huntsville, Alabama. Sweet Home Alabama is sung truer in Huntsville than in any other city. Ever since NASA first set up camp in the 1960s, Huntsville has been experiencing a renaissance of sorts, with several other tech companies wanting to set up shop close to the space giants. This has led to better investments, more jobs, and a higher quality of life.
What is going on, everyone? Let's talk about the weather. Our last two videos were about the hottest and the coldest locations in the United States. Today we're going to take a look at what most people would consider the best places for weather in the country. Obviously, this video is going to be very subjective. Some people can't stand the heat and would prefer to live in like Marquette, Michigan, where it gets crazy cold, while others would rather have their wisdom teeth pulled than be in a place that snows. So what we're looking at is that happy medium, a place that never gets too hot, never gets too cold, and in general, just a nice place to live where you could wear shorts 12 months of the year and nobody stares at you. Now, I'm sure some of you are going to be able to cherry pick some stats about each location and each city on this list, but we're talking averages here, so stop typing. Most of the cities on this list are the type of places the local weatherman can show reruns and nobody would really notice during certain parts of the year. It's 68 and pleasant today, tomorrow, and the next day. Those type of things. Now, that being said, why don't you shed the scarf, kick off the Ugg boots, and watch my top 10 cities with the best weather in the United States. Number 10, St. George, Utah. So, it should be no surprise that Utah is on a list about something pleasant. Most everything in Utah is pleasant. The people, the scenery, the culture, and yes, the weather. Utah in some situations is so pleasant, it's kind of nauseating. Utah is known for its beautiful mountain views and clear skies. St. George is the perfect place for this type of thing. As far as the weather goes, they rarely ever get those crazy 120-degree weather days like Vegas. For 7 or 8 months a year, St. George stays in that sweet spot between 75 and 55. And what else makes this place pretty cool is you're less than 2 hours away from Vegas, and every year about a quarter of the 84,000 residents from St. George make that trip. Number 9, Portland, Oregon. Yes, you heard me right, Portland, Oregon. I know everyone's heard the stories about the horrible rain. This is where I live, and I can tell you firsthand, the rain isn't as bad as people make it out to be. Sure, it rains a good portion of the year, but it hardly is ever anything more than a light rain or a drizzle. The downside is the light rain and drizzle happens more often than other places in this country. Pacific Northwest is like that. Portland is very laid back when it comes to weather. Winters aren't brutal at all. Temperatures getting as low as the mid-30s most of the time, with the occasional snow dusting. I've been here just about 10 years now, and I think in that time we've had maybe 3 weeks of really bad snow in that entire decade, where maybe I might have needed chains or something like that. It's never that bad. The summers are great in Portland, Oregon, and only get into the 90s a few days during the hottest time of the year. They never get in the 105, anything near that. Most of the summer is 75 to 85 degrees. Thankfully, the humidity is pretty low, so you won't feel like you're drowning on dry land in the summer, like you would in, say, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi. Portland stays in that sweet spot 6 to 7 months a year, with a little bit of drizzle. Number 8. Hot Springs, Arkansas. Unlike Utah, Arkansas is hardly ever brought up in a conversation where the word pleasant is being thrown around. In this case, it works. Hot Springs, Arkansas is a great place. Great landscape, nice city, great people. Ate at a Waffle House here once. I was the only white person in the building. It was crowded and a very nice group of young girls said I looked hungry and said I could sit with them. I did. We had a great conversation about growing up in California. It was really nice. Everyone in the building was totally pleasant, even though I was completely the outsider. It is a great city. Hot Springs is right outside of the Ouachita National Forest and has the Ouachita River running right beside the city. This is a nice place to go for a swim when the summer heat gets going. I mean, it only gets up to the mid-90s during the summer, so you're not looking at those 105-degree temperatures you get in some of the southern states. It's just nice and pleasant. The winter temperatures tend to stay around the 50s. Nothing terrible. Nice and medium. Number 7. Sherman, Texas. Have you ever heard of it? Most people haven't. Sherman, Texas is a small town of about 40,000 residents near the Oklahoma border. Winters here are pretty mild, with temperatures dropping maybe to the mid-30s during the night and then raising up to the mid-50s during the day. And they get the occasional rainy day. Nothing major. During the summer, temperatures rise up to the high 80s and mid-90s during the hottest times of the year. That's it. Nothing crazy. No 100-degree weather days, nothing like that. This is the northern section of Texas, so it doesn't get crazy like other places in the state. Number 6. Sarasota, Florida. Sarasota is home to just under 60,000 residents and is considered by many one of the best places to live in the United States. The city is on the more western side of the state of Florida on Sarasota Bay right off the Gulf of Mexico. Now, Florida gets the humidity pretty bad here, but when you're near the ocean, or the Gulf in this case, it isn't as bad. In reality, there's about 10 different cities in Florida that could have easily slipped into this slot. I had to look at statewide averages to really decide which one was best. Locals love Sarasota for its warm summer days that reach into the 90s, but nothing crazy hot. And the winters hardly ever get under 60 degrees. Most of the year, like 9 months a year, it stays pretty much in that sweet spot. The place is also filled with retirees, so there's no big fear of a kegger going on next door. Maybe just a heated croquet match. Worst thing that could happen there is they run out of margarita mix or something like that, or maybe someone breaks a hip. Nothing terrible. Number 5. Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville is a smaller city of just under 70,000 residents. The city is great because you get the warmth in the summer. Like most of the southern areas, the humidity doesn't get as bad as, let's say, Mississippi or Alabama, but you still get it. And in the winter, you get a small chill, definitely not bad. The average summer temperature is around 85 degrees, while the winter temperatures hardly ever dip below, let's say, the mid-30s, during the day at least. 7 months of the year, they stay pretty close to that sweet spot without ever getting crazy hot or cold at any point in the year. Greenville also has one of my favorite features of any city I've probably ever visited, the Reedy Falls. It's in the center of town. The Reedy River runs right through downtown Greenville, but the Reedy Falls is actually the only city I believe I've ever been to that has a natural waterfall in town. It's very cool. Look at that. It's amazing. Number 4. Boise, Idaho. Boise is the largest city in Idaho with about 230,000 residents. Summer temperatures can rise into the 90s during just June and July and get between 30 and 40 degrees during December and January in the winter. Not terrible. It's only 2 months on each side that kind of get bad. Although it can get pretty cold here, it stays relatively dry. The average amount of rain in the city is about 19 inches a year. The average for the US is 39 inches, so they're well below the average. They do get some snow during the winter, but nothing like, let's say, Green Bay or Minneapolis. It's not terrible, but they get a couple days. Maybe a week or two. Boise is a great city all around. That's probably why so many people are moving to it. It's one of the most moved to cities in the country right now. It has been for like the last 2 years. Number 3, San Diego, California. San Diego is one of the best places to go in your search of the best weather in the country. The winters here are very mild and the temperatures usually float around the mid to high 60s. Mid to high 60s. Those poor people. How can they stand it? Maybe we should start a GoFundMe and buy them all some sweaters. They're in my thoughts and prayers. Now, obviously, I'm joking. I have a friend named Shannon in Green Bay that probably would have screamed profanity at her computer screen as she waited for her car tires to unfreeze in the driveway if she saw this a couple months back. In the summers, temperatures can rise into the low 80s. Thankfully, the ocean's right there, and it offers a nice cool breeze during the summer. I mean, it could get a little hotter if the ocean wasn't there, but I mean, the ocean's not going anywhere. San Diego's normally in the top 5 when ranking the quality of life. A big part of that quality of life is the weather and burritos. They have some of the best burritos you'll ever eat. You have to love a city that goes heavy on casual wear and burritos. Number 2, Hilo, Hawaii. Hilo is located on the Big Island, and yes, by most people's standards, this is paradise. So it has to be on the list, right? Hilo is ideal for year-round weather since the average high temperature is around 85 degrees with the average low being around 65. Since it is Hawaii, you should expect high humidity frequently. Thankfully, the city's right next to the ocean and Hilo Bay, so that kind of takes care of the humidity most of the time, but it still gets up there. The real downside of living in Hilo is the price, and a lot of that price comes because of the weather. People flock to great weather, which raises the price on everything. A frickin' gallon of milk in Hilo is in between $7 and $8. But hey, who needs food when you're living in paradise, right? You could survive on sunshine. And number 1. Cape Coral, Florida. Cape Coral is one of those places you dream about living if you want to live on the beach day after day. It's about an hour and a half south of Sarasota, which was on the list earlier, and the average temperature in the summer gets to be around 92 degrees, making the ocean a nice place to cool down. And it's right on the ocean. While in the winter, the low is usually around the mid to high 50s, still being perfect for beach activities, like walks, maybe a dip in the ocean, volleyball, wearing a fanny pack on the beach with a Speedo. Yes, I saw that more than once while I was there, and it will haunt me the rest of my days. I mean, a fanny pack on an 80-year-old man that is far too tan is bad enough. Then my wife grabs my arm and whispers, "Oh no, I just saw the outline of his twig and berries. I bet his wife left him on the wedding night." I'm telling you, that whole conversation, that whole situation, I've never been that uncomfortable. Then the man wanted to have a conversation with me. It was bad. It was ugly. I wanted to run away and shove my wife at him like, "Save yourself," and just run away, but I stuck it out and had a conversation with him. Alright, so that's my top 10 cities with the best weather. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you got some information out of it. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell me what you thought in the comment section. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.
Ten of the most affordable places to live in the US. You're ready to move to a new city. But, before you pack up and select a new place to live, make sure you do your research. While it's great to have an idea of some of the different entertainment options and attractions that an area offers, you also want it to be somewhere that fits into your budget. Living expenses vary wildly from city to city, and finding an affordable city to live in isn't as easy as it used to be. Let's say you're looking for a city to move to and are hoping to spend about $140,000 on your new dream home. You're not going to have much luck in cities like New York City or San Francisco. However, that $140,000 could get you a lot of house if you're looking at one of the more affordable cities in America. Luckily, Forbes compiles a good amount of data every year to help us figure out which cities those are. The full list of America's most affordable cities tops 100 metropolitan areas, but we're going to stick to the upper slice. Here are the cheapest cities in the US, so you can see where you can get the most bang for your buck. Columbus, Ohio. Ohio, rooted in the American Midwest, and home to several major cities, is still one of the cheapest places to live. And one of those cities, the capital Columbus, cracks the overall top 10. Given that Columbus is home to the state government and one of the nation's largest schools, Ohio State University, there are plenty of well-paying jobs to be at as well. The median family income is $70,000, and median home sales came in at $167,000. 9. Indianapolis, Indiana. Ohio's neighbor to the west offers another affordable city for those looking to lower their living expenses, and another state capital to boot. Indianapolis residents have a median family income of $64,300, while median home prices are only $134,000. Nearly 80% of homes in the city are affordable at the median income. Eight. Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, another Ohio city, makes the list at number 7. Seeing as how Dayton isn't a major city, the cost of living is even lower than in places like Columbus or Indianapolis. But that means that median pay is lower, on average, as well. Median family income is just over $60,000, and median home prices were at $104,000.
Mr. Webber said from the very beginning on his first session when I come in and sat down with him that I had a very good case, and then it turned out that the case was actually better than what I guess.
Seven. St. Louis, Missouri. We're staying centralized in the Midwest so far, if you haven't noticed. And St. Louis, located on the Mississippi River on the border of Missouri and Illinois, takes the number 6 spot. Median family income in St. Louis was just above $67,000, while median home prices were at $140,000. One interesting detail: utility costs for St. Louis residents are 9% higher than the national average. But most other expenses fall below the line. Six. Memphis, Tennessee. The average cost of a home in Memphis is $140,000, and median incomes come in at $56,700. There's even more good news for those hoping to settle down in a town rich with musical heritage. Almost 75% of the housing in the city is available at the household median income. And plus, there's all of that history to take in. Five. Cincinnati, Ohio. Back to Ohio we go, with another of the state's larger cities, Cincinnati, making a showing on the list. In Cincinnati, you can watch the Bengals make another early playoff exit, while paying a median price of $133,000 for a home. Median family incomes were $68,500, and almost 84% of the city's residences could be purchased at that income level. Four. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma takes the number 4 spot, with a median family income of $61,400. Homes in Oklahoma City sold for under $140,000, making it
Welcome home.
It's official, y'all. It's official.
Zillow is reimagining how people rent. With tour scheduling and new online applications and payments.
That is awesome.
Another way, we're helping you find and get into a home you love.
a good city for those looking for affordability. It's a growing city, too, and if you're a basketball fan, the Thunder are a playoff staple these days. Buffalo, New York. In a surprising twist, one of the most affordable cities in the U.S. is in the same state that one of the most overpriced city resides, New York City. Buffalo has a median family income of $63,900 and a median home sales price of $118,000. Home ownership is attainable for 81.8% of the local population. In terms of costs, you'll save on everything except utilities, which are 7.1% above the national average, and transportation, which is 2.4% above the national average. Knoxville, Tennessee. Knoxville, Tennessee might be the perfect place for a college football fan looking for more affordability. You're in close proximity to the University of Tennessee and some serious seconds football, in addition to some relatively cheap groceries, transportation, and utilities. Median family income is just above $60,000, and homes were selling at a median price of $144,000. Birmingham, Alabama. Down south we go, to America's most affordable city, Birmingham, Alabama. Among the biggest cost savers in Birmingham are healthcare and transportation, which are 16.6% and 13.2% below the national averages, respectively. Median family income came in at $61,000, and median home sales landed at $130,000. If you want the most bang for your buck, Birmingham is the place to be. One, Fremont, California. Fremont, across the bay about 45 miles southeast of San Francisco. Not only does it have a neighborhood called Warm Springs, but Fremont apparently also warms the cockles of the heart. Moderate weather all year long, which really does matter when it comes to happiness. Fremont's low obesity rate and low separation scored particularly well in the average divorce rate, community and environment, and in emotional and physical well-being. 2. Bismarck, North Dakota. North Dakota ranks first in quality of life. That covers a wide range of things such as state's air quality, pollution, voter participation, social support, and more. The amazing social environment is the reason why they call it North Dakota Nice. The late sunsets in North Dakota means that you get more daylight. During the summer solstice, Bismarck has its latest sunset at 9:41 p.m. The feel of spring and fall are almost surreal when they hit. Winters are beautiful, bitter cold and certainly last a while. 3. San Jose, California. It's no secret the Bay Area is one of the most expensive places in the US to live. But it's also apparently one of the happiest. Known for being the capital of Silicon Valley, San Jose is located on the southern shore of the San Francisco Bay, and sees about 300 days of sunshine each year. San Jose actually outranked the happiest city on Walthub's list to get the top score in the physical and emotional well-being category. It fell slightly behind in the community and environment rankings. 4. Pearl City, Hawaii. Pearl City ranked 57th for income and employment. The study does note that money can't buy happiness. Key ingredients for a happy life include a positive mental state, a healthy body and strong social connections. One of the biggest factors playing into its happiness, emotional and physical well-being, as well as in community and environment. Pearl City is a very special place with neighbors and a business community that truly cares for one another. A community that begins and ends each day with a smile. 5. Plano, Texas. If Texans are stressed and find themselves in need of a change, they may want to consider moving to one of these Texas cities. Plano. The city grabbed the nation's No. 4 position for lowest divorce and separation rates, but it also landed close to the bottom for most working hours. It has the lowest crime rate of any Texas city, and some of the lowest taxes in the region. Plano parks and recreation centers are incredible, so many activities and benefits as residents. Kids play in the streets until the lights come on. The neighborhoods are very nice and are quite affordable. 6. Fargo, North Dakota. Located on the banks of the Red River, which separates it from neighboring Moorhead, Fargo is jam-packed with museums, galleries, outdoor activities, low taxes and strong workforce helped it rank as one of the best places to live. Finding a job in Fargo is extremely easy, and since it is the Midwest, most people are very friendly. Winters can be very brutal, but if you love to cross-country ski or ice skate, it's perfect. Fargo, with its low unemployment, scored especially well in the income and employment portion of the findings, ranking second in the nation only behind Bismarck. 7. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Sioux Falls had the third lowest unemployment rate, at just 4.6%. Residents here are also lucky enough to have an average 17-minute commute time, and about 90% of them have health insurance. The people of Sioux Falls happily slept the night away. The South Dakota city was found to have the highest adequate sleep rate in the country. But that doesn't mean people there don't make time for friends. Sioux Falls also scored quite well in the community and environment category. 8. Irvine, California. Irvine is probably one of the safest, cleanest, and greenest cities in California. It's really easy to go up to LA area or drive down to San Diego. This city is really beautiful with streets dotted with flowers and trees. It is very quiet and all neighborhoods are well maintained. Irvine has the lowest obesity rate of the nation's largest cities. It also came in 5th place for having some of the lowest separation and divorce rates in the country. Irvine is a family-friendly place, so it's better to settle down here with a family. 9. Huntington Beach, California. Huntington Beach may be a surfer's paradise, but if you venture away from the ocean you'll find there's a lot more to the city than killer waves and tan athletes. There are plenty of shops, restaurants, and places to work. It scored well in the physical and emotional well-being category. Specifically, Huntington Beach tied with 5 other California cities for having the lowest depression rate and has the 4th lowest obesity rate of the cities studied. 10. Grand Prairie, Texas. Grand Prairie is a city that is experiencing growth, with plenty of homes being built to accommodate for the increasing population. The city has a number of attractions for recreational fun. The people in the city are very friendly and helpful. Crimes such as shootings and robberies are relatively uncommon. The commute to Dallas or Fort Worth is usually only around 25 to 30 minutes. The air and water is clean, and litter is minimal. If you're looking for a calm medium and a place to build a family, Grand Prairie would be great for you.
Successful investors would never be in the markets without knowing how much risk they're taking. The number one
Top 10 cheapest cities to live in. If you're tired of spending half your income on rent, or dropping $4.50 on a gallon of milk, it may be time to find a cheaper place to live. So where should you go? Your best bet is the Midwest or the South. 7 of the 20 cheapest cities in America are in a Midwestern state, and 8 are down south, 11 if you include Texas. Places like Springfield, Missouri and Knoxville, Tennessee might be perfect for people looking to save money or get out of debt. On the other hand, if you're seeking an affordable lifestyle, you'd be wise to avoid the West Coast, as 7 of the 10 most expensive cities in the country are in either California, Washington or Hawaii. The other 3 are on the East Coast. One. Buffalo, New York. Buffalo has always been torn between the East Coast and the Midwest, but when it comes to living expenses, it has more in common with its landlocked neighbors than with those on the Atlantic. The median monthly rent in Buffalo is just $512, that's $1 less than median rent in Cleveland, but less than half the average rent on a New York City apartment. 2. Springfield, Missouri. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the median home value in Springfield is $106,200, higher than 6 of the other 10 cheapest U.S. cities in our study. However, thanks to lower-than-average property taxes, among other factors, the median monthly home payment in Springfield is just $905 a month, lowest of any major city in America. That's a bargain for anyone who wants to own a home on a budget. (3) Fort Wayne, Indiana. Located in northeast Indiana, not far from the state's borders with Michigan and Ohio, Fort Wayne was originally the site of a U.S. Army fort, built by Anthony Wayne in the years following the Revolutionary War. While living in the city today probably isn't quite as cheap as it was back then, it is hard to beat Fort Wayne's median monthly rent of just $535. Allen County, in which Fort Wayne resides, is also one of the 100 cheapest counties for closing costs in America out of over 3,000. (4) Knoxville, Tennessee. College students, who often don't have any income, are famous for finding ways to save money. Whether that means living off the free food that is offered at campus events, or building a wardrobe out of apparel from the
All right, if you give me the next 60 seconds, I'm going to explain to you exactly how
lost and found, some students will never give up a chance to save a penny. In Knoxville, however, students may not have to stoop to those lows. According to the cost of living website numbeo.com, a pint of beer costs just $2.50 in the average Knoxville restaurant. That's a price any undergrad can appreciate. (5) Jackson, Mississippi. According to the cost of living data aggregator numbeo.com, a loaf of bread in Jackson costs just $1.55, compared with $2.70 in New York City. So you can count on cheap sandwiches in Jackson, but what about housing? Well, that's pretty cheap too. Average rent in the Mississippi state capital is just $576. (6) Birmingham, Alabama. With a population of just over 212,000, Birmingham is the largest city in Alabama, but its population has been falling in recent years. In fact, the city is only about 60% as large today as it was in the 1960s, when it peaked at over 340,000 people. That means the supply of housing is larger than demand, which, in turn, means low prices. The median home value in Birmingham is just $86,000 and median rents are about $520. (7) Akron, Ohio. Akron's nickname, rubber capital of the world, recalls a past when it produced much of the country's rubber tires. While many of the tire factories have since been shuttered, Akron has recently proved itself worthy of the name in a different sense, its ability to bounce back. Today it houses a multitude of R&D and tech offices, and its unemployment rate is half a percentage point lower than the national average. Shreveport, Louisiana. The state of Louisiana offers some of the lowest real estate tax rates in the country, and that trend helps make Shreveport one of the cheapest cities to live in. Despite a median home value of $124,700, higher than any of other top 10 cheapest cities, the average monthly home payment is just $1,126 in Shreveport. Amarillo, Texas. Like most of the state of Texas, gas prices in Amarillo are typically lower than in the rest of the United States. As of March 2015, a gallon of gas in Amarillo was about 20 cents cheaper than the national average. That, combined with rents that are less than 80% the national average, make Amarillo a very affordable place to live. Detroit, Michigan. According to the U.S. Census, the median home value in Detroit is just $42,300, less than the median income for full-time, year-round workers in the U.S. However, while a home in Detroit can certainly be bought for cheap, it's important to keep in mind the additional cost of restoring and renovating a home, which can often run in the tens of thousands of dollars.
and most diverse countries in the world, the United States boasts an amazing amount of travel destinations ranging from the skyscrapers of New York and Chicago, the natural wonders of Yellowstone and Alaska, to the sunny beaches of California and Florida. Here's a look at the top tourist attractions in the USA. Number 10. French Quarter. New Orleans, Louisiana is made up of several unique districts, but none is so famous as the French Quarter. Also known as the Vieux Carré, the area truly explores the rich French colonial influences of the city of New Orleans. Incredible architecture abounds, with the St. Louis Cathedral being the main attraction. The French Quarter boasts the Moonwalk, a paved walkway next to the Mississippi River, as well as Bourbon Street, the undeniable hub of nightlife, drinking, and entertainment in the city. Number 9. White House. The White House in Washington, D.C. is the official residence and office of the President of the United States. It was built between 1792 and 1800 and first used by President John Adams. If you're lucky enough to get inside on a public tour, you'll see several rooms in the main residence. Tours are available only for groups of 10 or more and must be requested up to 6 months in advance through your member of Congress or your country's U.S. ambassador. Number 8. Denali National Park. The Denali National Park and Preserve is located in interior Alaska and contains Mount McKinley, the highest mountain in North America. The word Denali means the high one in the native Athabascan language and refers to Mount McKinley. In addition, the park protects an incredible wilderness area that contains grizzly bears, caribou, moose, wolves, and numerous other creatures. Number 7. Las Vegas Strip. The gambling mecca of the world, Las Vegas is situated in the midst of the southern Nevada desert landscape. Casinos can be found throughout Las Vegas, but the Strip, a stretch of Las Vegas Boulevard South, contains most of them. It features giant mega casino hotels, decorated with lavish care and attention to detail to create a fantasy-like atmosphere. The casinos often have names and themes that evoke romance, mystery, and faraway destination. Number 6. Kilauea. Kilauea is the most recent of a series of volcanoes that have created the Hawaiian archipelago. It is a very low, flat shield volcano, vastly different in profile from the high, sharply sloping peaks of stratovolcanoes. Kilauea is one of the most active volcanoes on the Earth, and, for that reason, an invaluable resource for volcanologists. 33 eruptions have taken place since 1952, not including the current eruption, which started on January 3, 1983, and is still ongoing. Number 5. Niagara Falls. Situated between the state of New York and the province of Ontario, Niagara Falls is one of the most spectacular natural wonders on the North American continent. Niagara Falls is actually 3 different falls: the American Falls, Bridal Veil Falls, and Horseshoe Falls. Horseshoe Falls is located on the Canadian side, while the others are located in New York. With more than 14 million visitors each year, it is one of the most visited tourist attractions in the world. Number 4. Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge is a suspension bridge spanning the Golden Gate, the strait between San Francisco and Marin County to the north. The bridge took 4 years to build and was completed in 1937. The Golden Gate Bridge was the longest suspension bridge span in the world when it was completed, and has become an internationally recognized symbol of California. The famous red-orange color of the bridge was specifically chosen to make the bridge more easily visible through the thick fog that frequently shrouds the bridge. Number 3. Yellowstone. Yellowstone National Park was the world's first national park, set aside in 1872 to preserve the vast number of geysers, hot springs, and other thermal areas, as well as to protect the incredible wildlife and rugged beauty of the area. Yellowstone lies on top of a gigantic hotspot where light, hot, molten mantle rock rises towards the surface. Subsequently, the park contains half of all the world's known geothermal features, with more than 10,000 examples of geysers and hot springs. In addition, grizzly bears, bison, and wolves can also be found within the park borders. Number 2. Manhattan. Manhattan is one of New York's 5 boroughs and is what people most often think of when they picture New York City. Its familiar skyline and sights have been featured 1,000 times on screen. Here you can walk in the shadow of the skyscrapers, picture the Statue of Liberty, see a Broadway show, climb the Empire State Building, stroll Central Park, window shop on Fifth Avenue, or stagger around a museum. Number 1. Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is located in northern Arizona and is one of the great tourist attractions in the United States. Carved over several million years by the Colorado River, the canyon attains a depth of over 1 mile and length of 277 miles. The Grand Canyon is not the deepest or the longest canyon in the world, but the overwhelming size and its intricate and colorful landscapes offer visitors spectacular vistas that are unmatched throughout the world. With a dazzling array of amazing sights, Arizona's desert climate is home to some astounding geological formations and canyons that are well worth exploring. The Grand Canyon, for example, is one of the United States' most famous sites, while the impressive Monument Valley certainly gives it a run for its money. With Indian reservations making up almost a quarter of Arizona's area, there are lots of interesting archaeological, historical, and cultural sites relating to Native American culture for tourists to enjoy. The state cities are fun and friendly places to stop by, and there is some great nightlife to boot. Here's a look at the best places to visit in Arizona. Number 10. Antelope Canyon. The winding, twisting cracks of Antelope Canyon are mesmerizing to wander around, as sunbeams enchantingly snake their way along the sandstone walls, illuminating and bathing the soft red tones in resplendent light. A beautiful sight to behold, the two different parts of Antelope Canyon are both well worth visiting. Their distinctive features have led them to be respectively nicknamed the Crack and the Corkscrew. While they each have their own unique look, in both parts the rock appears to be flowing thanks to the shapes created by the erosion of the rock. Number 9. Tombstone. A historic town that is famous as the site of the gunfight at the OK Corral, Tombstone was one of the last boom towns. It was a rough place that attracted hardy prospectors, tough gunslingers, and lawless gamblers who came to win their fortune in the silver mines. Very much a tourist trap, Tombstone is a fun place to visit in Arizona to learn about how the West was settled. With the historic part of town perfectly preserved, step into the past and wander around its saloons or check out a reenactment performance of the gunfight. Number 8. Scottsdale. Part of the greater Phoenix area, Scottsdale's year-round warm weather means that it welcomes millions of visitors to its streets every year. As such, there is a plethora of hotels, restaurants, and bars that cater to every budget. Marketing itself as the West's most western town, numerous historic sites are scattered around, and festivals embracing this heritage are regularly held, with cowboy competitions and horse shows often featuring. On top of all this, the city's nightlife is pounding. There are loads of great nightclubs, swanky lounges, and trendy bars for you to explore. Number 7. Phoenix. Set in the middle of the desert in an area which is appropriately known as the Valley of the Sun, the state capital is undoubtedly the cultural and economic heart of the state. Bathed in glorious sunshine almost year-round, Phoenix attracts over 16 million visitors every year. With lots of entertaining museums on show, as well as some great theaters and shopping options, Phoenix has a lot going for it. Sport lovers can watch any one of the city's teams, while golfers will adore exploring the more than 200 courses found in the town. Number 6. Canyon de Chelly. One of the most visited national monuments in the country, Canyon de Chelly has been inhabited for over 5,000 years. The canyon walls protect and shelter some amazing old buildings that date back to the days of the ancestral Puebloans. Since the Navajos began calling it home in the 1700s, the canyon has tragically been the site of numerous massacres, with both the Spanish and U.S. Army having persecuted the Native Americans. Nowadays, the site is owned and run by the Navajo, and there are a number of great trails and horseback tours available to visitors. Number 5. Monument Valley. Iconic in look, Monument Valley's incredible geological features have starred in TV commercials, featured in films, and appeared in magazine ads. As such, they are instantly recognizable around the world. Surrounded by a desolate and featureless desert that stretches almost interminably, the massive sandstone buttes rear impressively toward the heavens, their vivid reds and oranges standing out against the blue sky. Beautiful to behold, the Valley Between the Rocks, as it was dubbed by the Navajo, is a must-see place when visiting Arizona. Number 4. Tucson. Home to the University of Arizona, this lively college town is a fun and friendly place to visit, with some great nightlife on offer. The second largest city in the state is a delightful mix of cultures that attest to its long and varied history. Its numerous museums and lively arts and culture scene showcase the city's diversity. With amazing natural sights lying just outside of Tucson, most tourists to the city come to explore the mesmerizing Saguaro National Park or hike in the nearby Santa Carolina Mountains. Number 3. Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. Mostly consisting of endless desert, the huge Glen Canyon National Recreation Area surrounds the beautiful waters of Lake Powell. The dark waters of the lake are lined by beautiful red rock formations and the dramatic rock faces that plunge down into it. Whether it is jet skiing on Lake Powell's waters, fishing along the shoreline, or hiking amidst the spectacular rock formations, this national recreation area has something for everyone. The desert scenery is otherworldly, with Pariah Canyon and Rainbow Bridge being particularly memorable. Horseshoe Bend is another must-see area in Glen Canyon. Number 2. Sedona. While the jaw-dropping red sandstone formations are the undoubted highlight of what Sedona has to offer, there is lots more to see and do. Nestled amid the beautiful rock formations, Sedona is considered sacred by Native Americans, and people come here to heal themselves and seek spiritual enlightenment. There are many shops selling alternative medicines and lots of spas for visitors to relax in. With lots of great restaurants as well as numerous art galleries to explore, the town can get a bit busy during summer, although the stunning scenery more than makes up for it. Number 1. The Grand Canyon. Renowned throughout the world, the Grand Canyon is awe-inspiring to visit, and the beautiful panoramas are simply breathtaking. Gigantic in size and scale, the views from the edge of the canyon are incredible as you look out over the rock face dropping away below you and the dramatic vista stretches towards the horizon. The arid and desolate terrain is beautiful, yet picturesque, and indeed a powerful place to explore. A simply incredible place, the Grand Canyon is undoubtedly the highlight of what Arizona has to offer.
At Ace, your backyard is in our backyard.
Hey, welcome back.
Which makes it easy to take care of the things that all
10 best places to live in Arizona. Known for its warm climate and beautiful desert landscape, Arizona has long been considered a great place for vacation. But it's also a great place to live. These cities, Taking into account factors like median income, safety, graduation rates, weather, and cultural offerings, are some of the best places in the state to live, raise a family, and enjoy your days. Whether you're looking to move or already live here, these are the 10 best cities in Arizona to call home. Agree? Disagree? Think we missed a city or want to add your own? Comment below to let us know. One. Gilbert. Gilbert barely edged out number 2 Litchfield Park, but its high median income, 94% diploma attainment rate, and safe, walkable streets for a larger city put it at the top spot. Gilbert's close proximity to Phoenix means you're close enough to catch a Suns or a Cardinals game, while still enjoying the quieter lifestyle. No stranger to accolades, Gilbert was also named one of the best cities in the country back in 2010, and is only a stone's throw from 2 national parks. Two. Litchfield Park. Known for its top-notch education system, high median income, and low crime rate, tiny Litchfield Park more than deserves a high ranking on this list. These factors make it not only an ideal place to live, but also start and raise a family. The moderate temperatures and ample green space are an added bonus as well. Three. Oro Valley. Scenic Oro Valley just might be the most beautiful city on this list, but it also ranks high due to its bright future. The tech boom shows no signs of slowing down, and Oro Valley is right at the forefront. This should keep their already impressive median income climbing. Also boasting an impressive graduation rate 96%, Oro Valley's school system is another reason the city ranks so highly. Not only that, but strong library and after-school programs help give children a bright future as well. Four. Paradise Valley. The highest graduation rate, 98% on the list, puts Paradise Valley in the top 5. With a name like Paradise, you can imagine that the landscape isn't too shabby either. It's indeed a beautiful place to live, with mountain views, thriving green space, and pleasant year-round temperatures, so even after the kids graduate you really...
So what's the best business to start in 2019? That phrase is probably one of the most searched.
Really won't want to leave. Paradise Valley also has the highest median income on the list, boosted by the many national celebrities that have called it home. Five. Fountain Hills. Yes, there is a beautiful fountain in the city center from which Fountain Hills gets its name. But that is only one of the perks of living here. The high median income is a major factor, as well as the excellent school system. It's also one of the very best cities on the list in which to enjoy Arizona's scenic beauty. Defined more by the natural landscape, Fountain Hills is also just a short jaunt from Tonto National Forest. It's a peaceful city where you can really enjoy the warm climate and scenic beauty. Six. Carefree. Why are the residents of Carefree so carefree? Well, probably because it is the safest city on this list for starters. It might have something to do with the high median income and high graduation rate as well. A great place to raise a family, though that will surely add a bit of care to your life. Carefree is known as that perfect mix of old world and new, a place where you will find classic Southwest style and high-end living side by side. Seven. Surprise. All the jokes have been made about the city's unique name. It's no surprise that Surprise landed in Arizona's top 10 cities to live, and it's no surprise to residents that this city is one of the fastest growing in the state. Featuring fantastic cultural amenities, including the shining new Surprise Aquatic Center, it strikes the perfect balance between big city and small town. Eight. Peoria. Money magazine has already called Peoria one of the top places to live in the country, and with its beautiful weather, high median income and high graduation rate, we would have to agree. It's also not too far from the Grand Canyon, and even closer is the incredible Desert Botanical Garden and other important cultural attractions that are great trips for the whole family. Nine. Chandler. Chandler, the largest city on this list with a population of 249,146. The homes are slightly more affordable, and the median income and graduation rates are among the highest in the state. Another added bonus is the city's close proximity to one of the most interesting and oft-visited parts of the state, the Petrified Forest. Scottsdale. Just a few thousand people behind Chandler in terms of population, Scottsdale also ranks high in high school graduation rate and home value. Perhaps Scottsdale's greatest feature is its central location around some of Arizona's great cultural offerings. You're not only a hop, skip, and a jump away from the butterfly wonderland, a rainforest kept lush and green indoors and is as beautiful as it sounds. But Thonto Natural Bridge State Park is also nearby.